A story you'll see only on 13 News Now. A family is creating even more history in Newport News.
Dudley's Driving Center just opened the first black-owned CDL training school in Virginia. 13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens has the story.
I see this as not just a one-time thing, but growing this to be bigger than what it's supposed to be.
The Dudley family recently opened the first black-owned commercial driver's license school in the state.
It's almost $1 billion industry because a lot of people are looking for work.
The Dudleys helping the Newport news community almost 60 years. Thomas Dudley II is one of the owners of Dudley Driving Center. The business has been in the family since 1959 when his grandmother opened Dudley's driving school on Main Street.
Howard Dudley.
She taught on this board, using wooden clothespins to illustrate cars.
She really was a pillar to start the driving community in the area.
Dudley is continuing the family legacy, following in the footsteps of his grandmother and father, Thomas Dudley Sr., by opening the CDL school.
My main focus on this is really to show the younger kids that's growing up that they really can do this as well.
While it is a costly industry, it can also be dangerous. According to the Virginia Highway Safety Office, there were more than 2,000 large truck accidents in 2017. Dudley says safety is key, but he also says they'll do things a little different than other CDL schools. He plans on bringing in financial coaches and advisors with the hope that when people leave, they'll have a job waiting for them.
We want to show them the business part of it and not just giving them a class, letting them just find a job.
Dudley says he's not only excited to carry on the family business, but to expand and grow as well, teaching and training students not just in Virginia, but other states as well. In Newport News, Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.